Alrighty guys, what is going up? Welcome back to another episode. My name is Carter and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the top high interest savings accounts that I would highly recommend for 2020. So far 2020 has been a crazy year, but how can you maximize your banking and maximize your savings? That's what we're going to be talking about in the episode. Now if you guys learned something, go ahead and smash a huge like on this video. It's greatly appreciated by me and it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm so more people can see my content. So let's jump into the episode, roll the intro, let's go. Bam! So what is a high interest savings account? Well, obviously these can either be online or brick and mortar banks. So the online banks have no physical location most of the time. And the brick and mortar banks are banks that you and I know of. They're banks that we normally see driving down the road, Chase, Comerica, stuff like that. These big popular banks. Now, most of the time, these banks, brick and mortar banks, don't pay as much just because they have more expenses, which kind of makes sense. But overall, the idea of these high interest savings accounts is trying to make money just by letting your money sit. You're going to build up this compound interest of anywhere from 1 to 2% per year. It's not great, but it's better than nothing in my opinion. So the average APY for the United States is 0.09 APY per year. So let me just put things in perspective on how terrible that is, and if that's yours, I would highly recommend changing. So if you want to double your money, and that's kind of like the ideal goal for savings, you kind of just want to let your money sit, and if it grows, it grows. But if let's say you had this terrible savings account of 0.09, it will take you roughly 800 years to double your money. Now that's terrible. That is the worst thing that you can do. If let's say you started when you were a little baby and you're a newborn, it takes you 800 years before you even see any doubling on your money. Now at that rate, you could just take it and throw it in the freaking dumpster and it probably will make you more money. I don't know. That is just terrible. 0.09 is awful. So what are some of the things that you guys need to look at and consider before you guys kind of pick the bank that you want to let your money sit? Well, the very first one, obviously, is you want to make sure your money's insured. You want to make sure it's FDIC insured. That's pretty much up to $250,000. Now, if you have more money than that, then just go to another bank and just keep doing that and keep doing it. If you're a multi-millionaire, that's pretty much how they do it. There's multiple companies out there that let you diversify your account up to multiple bank accounts, but most of us don't have to worry about that. We kind of just pick one, make sure it's the best, and just go with it. So the second one is the APY. This is one of the most important things that you want to look for, because this is going to be how much money you're getting paid. APY stands for annual percentage yield. So most of the time with these high interest savings accounts, it's anywhere from 1 to 2%. It's not great, but hey man, it's free money and you're gonna get this money monthly. So it's pretty cool. Now another thing you guys wanna look into is you wanna make sure you don't have any stupid monthly fees, because some of these banks that I'm gonna talk about has them and I wouldn't recommend them. So they do kind of pay a decent APY. But overall, don't go through a bank that has a monthly fee. It's terrible, guys. It's terrible. Now, another thing that you guys want to look into is what you call a minimum opening deposit. So it's very simple. Some of these banks are going to have to make you kind of put money into your account just to make sure they know you're legit and you can kind of keep that money in there. But overall, that's not too big of a deal because most of them are kind of affordable for the average American. And obviously, the more money you put into your savings, the more money you're gonna make. That's kind of common sense. Now, some of these bank accounts are gonna have what you call a minimum balance required. So this is more on the day-to-day, so you guys are gonna have to like keep in at least $100 per day or you're gonna get charged more fees. So make sure that that's zero or something affordable that you can manage. Now another thing that you guys want to look into is how much and how many times are you going to want to withdraw and kind of get your money. That's kind of a big factor. Most of these are kind of where you can withdraw around 6 times and then you guys get charged fees. So overall it depends on you. If you want like a lot of money all the time and you just want to keep depositing it, there's a lot more options out. All right, so what is the very first high interest savings account? Let's talk about it. Let's go. The moment we've all been waiting for. Let's go. Now the very first one is what you call Borrow Direct. This pays an annual percentage per year is 1.8. So that is a lot better than that 0.09. That is double or probably like 20 times better than that. Now the minimum deposit for this account is 25 bucks. So you do have to have $25 in your account and then you guys get that awesome APY. the annual percentage yield. It's pretty great. Now there's no monthly fees, and they do have a mobile app, and this is obviously an online bank, so there's no physical location that you can go in, visit, talk to the cashier, and just try to hang out. I don't know, guys. I don't know. There's no physical location though. And obviously, we always got to make sure it's FDIC insured, and it is, so that's a thumbs up. All right, rolling to number 2. Let's go. Now this one honestly isn't the best, but it kind of is decent. It's decent, guys. So the annual percentage for this one is what you call popular direct. It is 1.8. So it's not as good as the other one, which is 1.85. This one's 1.8. So it's still pretty decent. Now the minimum balance for this account is $5,000 you have to put in. You have to have at least $5,000 to put into this account. So for most of you, that kind of won't be the best thing, but another thing that kind of sucks is they do charge some fees. Let's talk about it. So they do charge you a $4 fee if your account falls below $500. So if let's say you guys are kind of moving money around and your account falls below $500, they do charge you $4. You can't get that money back, and it's kind of awful, to be quite honest. So they do charge you that fee. On top of that, if let's say you withdraw more than 6 times, they do charge you another $5. You could possibly get charged up to $9 per month or more with this bank. But overall, it's not the best. I think the one above was a little better, or the one that we kind of talked about was a little better. Now that one is still FDIC insured, which is pretty great. We always got to make sure that these banks are insured, because we don't want to kind of put our money in a bank and have that bank go, bye, we don't need it, we don't need you anymore, and they take your money and run. You always want to make sure before you put any money in your bank, you always want to make sure it's FDIC insured. Trust me. So another bank that has a decent APY is what you call UFB Direct. Now this one is the same as the one above, or the one we already talked about. Why do I always say that? It's 1.8%, but the stipulation for this one is more money. You have to have at least $10,000 in your account to even get approved for the 1.8%. And if you don't, they're going to charge you $10 a month, and that's kind of terrible. That's like a free gym membership that a bank's going to charge you. But it's terrible. Don't do it. Don't. But overall, those are like the top 3 banks that have a high yield savings account. Well, you might be saying, well, Carter, what do you do? What do you do? I want to know. Well, here's what I would do. I'll be honest with you guys. I look for local credit unions. Local credit unions are the best, guys. The bank I go to is called Genesis Credit Union. It is a credit union that is local in Michigan, kind of where I'm from, but overall, they pay a 4.06% per year. That is incredible. That is 4 times some of these. That is quadruple that other one. But there's more stipulations. You have to spend at least $50 per month on the card, have over 10 transactions, and it is a debit card. So it's a little different, but if you're somebody who's just saving money, you put your bills on the card, you get that great, APY, and you still make some money from it. So there's a lot of features out there. There's a lot of things that you guys look into, but these are like the high yield savings that's kind of going on, just because we did have the Fed cut the interest rates. So a lot of very, very popular banks like Ally, Robinhood has one, Chase, all these other banks, they got their high interest savings accounts slashed, like getting your tires slashed by your ex-girlfriend. It was terrible, guys. But they try to do that to try to kind of preserve the markets and try to make everyone feel comfortable with investing. But overall, I think this was a very important topic, and I hope you guys learned something. But overall, my number one choice right now, if you guys are just trying to put money away to save, is that Borrow Direct. I think it's great. Only $25, no monthly fee. That is the one I kind of choose for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys learned something. And if you did, drop a subscribe down below. We'll see you guys tomorrow in another episode. There'll probably be a podcast up later today. So roll the outro. I don't even know what it's called. Let's go. Peace out, guys. Have a good day.